I appreciate everybody who came today. I'm gmsteel. I'm a member of the social media teams, the education team, the onboarding team. And actually, I'm glad it looks like a lot of recruits are here. I made a Moodle course about how to contribute to a decentralized autonomous organization, or DAO. I have some experience in the past in traditional organizations with leadership roles, with mentoring, with training, with education. And so I was kind of interested when I came in a DAO of how do we onboard people and what skills are important. And I sort of learned that some of the skills that might be important in a traditional organization, it's a little different in a DAO because it's more decentralized and autonomous. One thing I wanted to say is someone told me recently that I spoke fast. So if I do speak fast and someone's having trouble understanding me, please stop me and let me know. The other thing is I plan to go through the slides. There's only about 6 of them, but talk for maybe around 20 minutes. And then hopefully have some time at the end where we can have a discussion about everything. But if I talk about something on a slide that anyone has a question or a comment about, please don't hesitate to just kind of jump in and talk. There's no reason that you have to wait till the end if you have anything that we should discuss. This might have a lot more relevance to a new recruit maybe than someone who's been in the DAO for a long time, although I wanted some people who had been in the DAO a long time to listen and to give feedback because I want to tie this into a couple of things. I've been trying to work with some new recruits on some overall mentoring and also working on a overall strategy with the onboarding team for how we onboard folks. And so I thought comments about this from people who might know more about it than I do may be beneficial for that. So I really want everybody to participate, but I appreciate you coming. So the first thing that I was going to talk about was just a quick definition review about what a decentralized organization is. And basically, that's an organization that is controlled by a group of entities or individuals rather than one person or a central leadership structure. So most of the places that I've ever participated in or worked in my life had a CEO, and then they had people below them, and the decisions came from the top and worked on down. But in a decentralized organization, it's more of a flat structure where everybody participates in the decision making. And also to talk about an autonomous organization, it's an organization that has the freedom to govern itself and control its own affairs. So again, no outside influences. Risk Labs has given us the autonomy to be able to have the UMA DAO and to make these decisions without having any big oversight. So the second slide is talking about how a DAO varies from a traditional organization because they have different operational procedures and values. So a DAO has a leadership structure for organizational purposes, but does not dictate tasks to its members. So it's not necessarily just top down. And I think the interesting thing is, Lisa, who is an expert in this, and gave a talk not too long ago, talked about how talking about structures was a dirty word sometimes in DAOs, but she was saying that you need to have structures because you need to have organization and you need to get things done. So maybe it's the way that you do leadership rather than not having structures, because you need organization. You just don't have a top-down structure. The interesting thing, though, is it can be a challenge in a DAO to get tasks accomplished because you don't have a boss who tells someone you're going to do this and it's due by this date. So you need to have self-starters and you need to have people who kind of take the load so that things get accomplished even though you don't have a traditional structure. So I wanted to talk about some of the skills that are valuable to a DAO. And it doesn't necessarily mean that these skills aren't in any way valuable to a traditional organization, but maybe some of them mean different things in a DAO. And so the first thing, especially for a new recruit coming in who's trying to get on board, is basically stepping up. And so that's basically like coming into the DAO. It's really not a thing where someone is going to grab your hand and walk you through everything from A to Z. Now you can get some mentorship and we can talk about that a little bit. But the thing is you're going to see opportunities to do things, to meet people, to speak up, to interact, to take on projects, to be part of projects. And honestly, the biggest thing is just stepping up and saying, hey, I'm willing to do that. and doing that in a more self-driven fashion than someone's going to come to you and tell you you're going to do task A and you're going to do task B, etc., etc. So the second thing is self-organization, which kind of falls a little bit along the same thing. It's just sort of that if you take on a task, there's not going to be a person who's going to sit there and tell you how you have to do that task. They might talk with you about this is the goal of the task, the thing we'd like to accomplish, but it's up to the individual or the group to kind of come up with how do you organize everyone to take on specific parts of the work so that it gets done as a whole, and who leads the team. It's not told who leads the team. Most of the time, the team itself will choose someone just to be the leader to just kind of keep things on track. But again, it's a matter of you have to be more self-organized in a DAO than you would in a traditional organization just because no one's going to tell you everything to do. So teamwork and relationship building are important. And oftentimes in a DAO, instead of working on projects alone or by yourself, you're doing it in teams. And so one of the best things that new recruits can do coming in is to get on the channels and to start talking to people and introducing yourself and those kind of things and getting to know people. But one of the best ways to do that is to see that there's a task to be done and that a team is doing it and just ask to be involved in the team. I haven't seen yet where any team said, oh no, you can't be a part of it. They're very inclusional. They bring people in. They want people to participate. They want people to learn. And while doing that, you also meet new people and build relationships. And so it's really important as you're trying to progress in the DAO and to do things that you get to know the other members and get relationships with them, and everyone helps each other out. The next thing is asking for help. And I guess I can't stress this enough. As a new person in the DAO, you don't really know what's going on. And to be honest, when I came in, I didn't know what's going on. And sometimes I feel like I still don't know what's going on. But the point is that there's always someone around who's willing to help you. And so if you don't know what's going on or you don't know what to do, feel free to get on the channel and send out a message and say, hey, could someone help me out with this? And I've never seen an instance where someone didn't step in and help. And the other interesting thing to me is that what people really would like to see from new members and even established members is that people are involved and they're interested and they're participating. And in some ways, asking for help is the way you participate, because then that person knows that you're engaged, you're interested, you're part of the process, and you want to know more. And so I really encourage people to ask for help. If you have nothing else to do, a great thing to do is just get on and start meeting people. And as they say things, ask for more explanations or help. And that's a good way to get to know people and get known. Another one is getting the job done. And this is because in a DAO, again, you don't have a boss. So you don't have a boss that tells you you're going to do this task and you are going to complete it by this date. So when we take on tasks, it's really important that we get the job done. It's a great way to get known in the DAO and to get noticed when you take on projects and you get them done in a timely manner and you get them done completely. But it's difficult for some people just because of the fact that they're used to working in this structured environment, and this isn't really that, and you need to kind of self-motivate to get the things done. Timeliness is another important thing as far as, if you take on a task, the DAO is sort of counting on you. They're not telling you how to do it. They're not telling you when you have to do it by, but they are counting on you to get it done. And so when you take projects, you're taking responsibility and you need to kind of get the project done and get it done in a timely manner. And then the last one is sort of commitment. And one thing that I have seen for sure is that it does take a time commitment to be involved. You can't really come in the DAO and not really know what's going on and not spend any time in the Discord and not go into any meetings and not meet anybody and expect that you're going to really learn what to do and sort of move forward. So if you'd like to be involved and you want to get to know more about the DAO, it really takes some commitment that you're going to check on the Discords and be involved in the channels and read things for your teams and be at meetings, because it's really the way to kind of get to know what's going on and what you need to do. So on the next slide, I wanted to talk a little bit about how new members can be involved. And when I first started in the DAO, I didn't know what to do at all. I think I was probably here at least a month and a half and really did absolutely nothing until, honestly, I was the one who sort of said, well, I better go kind of figure this out, because again, it's pretty unlikely that anyone is going to necessarily hold your hand. So getting involved is the biggest way that you learn what's happening and get involved in projects and sort of move forward. And so how do new members get involved? Well, the first thing to do is complete the orientation call. And the second thing is that we have some Moodle courses. Right now, we have at least one and possibly two coming up shortly, but that's going to continue to expand. But completing those courses is sort of a great way to kind of learn some things about the DAO and learn about. Actually, this whole talk is a Moodle course that's for new members to learn about the skills that might be important to a DAO. The next thing that's important is maybe go in the channels of the teams you're involved in or general channels and just sort of introduce yourself. Everybody will be welcoming, and you can talk to people and meet people that way. And really the next thing to do is kind of review and join the teams and review and monitor the threads. So when you come in, you learned in the orientation call that there are different teams and they do different things. And so based on your level of interest, you might join one or more teams. I think a lot of people are in multiple teams. And but when that happens, the team that you're involved in will have a Discord thread, and you can kind of review and monitor that. It'll help you to know what's going on in the teams. It'll help you to meet people. It'll help you be able to ask questions and to get involved in projects. And the next one is joining team and general calls. And honestly, when I tell you that I wasn't too involved for the first month and a half, honestly, it was because I didn't do this next thing. And for any new recruit that really wanted advice on how to get involved, I would say this is the most important thing, which is joining team and general calls. So when you go to the events tab, there's a list of calls that happen. And when you join calls for your team, it's really how you learn about things. And it's really the place where the team lead and other people will say, I'm working on this project, or this is something we need to get done. And you can speak up and say, hey, I'd like to be a part of that. It's really one of the best and easiest ways to learn what's going on and learn about projects and to get involved in projects and those kind of things. And there's also general calls, like a decent example is this call, or there are community calls where it's everyone in the DAO getting together and they talk about the things that are going on in the DAO, and it's a great way to learn. And being there and talking and participating and giving ideas is a great way to get known and to meet people. One of the things I think is really interesting and was surprising to me about the DAO, especially when I came in brand new, is that I got a big mouth and like to talk, I guess. So I was just sort of throwing out ideas in these big calls. And if I'd known any better, maybe I wouldn't have done it. But it was sort of a thing that was surprising because here I was a brand new person and I was making suggestions and throwing out ideas. And in a lot of places and in traditional organizations, there'd be people that would kind of look down on you for that. And they would say, you haven't been here long enough to be doing these things. But in the DAO here, everybody took my ideas seriously and they let me participate and they were very welcoming. Heck, even when I gave out what were probably like some bad ideas, and I guess I don't mean they were bad, it's just I didn't really understand what a DAO was at the time. So I was talking where I didn't really know. It's not that the idea was bad, it was just the way I was presenting it might have not been good for a DAO, but people are still very supportive and really let me be involved. So I encourage people that you're in calls and you have questions and ideas, please step up and say something. Or even if you're too nervous or don't want to participate in speaking, you can put a comment in the channel, but just getting involved. The next thing is participating. And again, this is sort of like when you get on these calls, when you review the channels and you see that there are things to be done and projects that need to be taken, be the one who steps up and says, I'd like to be involved in that. And sometimes when you're new, maybe you don't lead the project or maybe you don't do it by yourself, but that's perfectly fine. I took on projects that honestly I had no idea what they were about, but it was fine because there were always people to help me and I learned about that thing. And so don't be nervous to kind of just jump in, because when you jump in, you'll learn and people will always help you. And then the last thing is find a mentor. And the social media team started out with a mentoring project for the team, and I think that's kind of on pause right now, but there are other teams that are talking about starting mentorship programs to help onboard new recruits. But one thing that you'll find is that there are people in the DAO who are just sort of interested in onboarding new people and in mentorship and who like to help. And so you can meet those people and someone might be willing to take you under their wing and just sort of help you navigate at the beginning. So I've been doing some of that with some of the new recruits, and it's a good idea to meet people, and some people will kind of help take you under their wing, and that's a good way to kind of get involved. So, talking a little bit about taking on tasks and responsibilities, because kind of we all need to be doing this. It's kind of how we show we're being active and being a participant in the DAO, but especially for new recruits, just some things that can be done to take on tasks and responsibilities, again, are just to kind of step up. When you're on a call or you see something in a thread and there's something to be done, be the one who kind of throws out a comment and says, hey, I'm really interested in that. I'd like to do that. And you'll find that people will just include you. The second thing being create a team. And again, I you can take on projects sometimes that you have little knowledge of, but you really never have to do them alone in my experience. And so you can take on projects and you can say, hey, I'd really like some people to help me out with this. And you'll find that there'll be a lot of people who will step up and say, yeah, let me do that project with you, and you can create a team and get it done. And that's a great way, especially for newer people, to kind of learn how we do things, get to meet people. It just really can be a big boost forward. The other thing is to do the heavy lifting, and what I mean by that is that it's a good idea for newer people to take on a project and to be the ones to do the work. Because oftentimes, if you have other people that join the team with you and say, hey, I'm willing to help you out with this, they're kind of willing to help guide you. But you'll get the best benefit if you kind of do the most of the work and then submit it to that person so they can review it and give you feedback and then send it back to you. And then maybe you do that. Because the biggest way that you're going to learn kind of how to do things and how to manage projects and how to do all that stuff is really being the one who kind of gets in there and gets the work done. And so kind of, again, step up and be the one who says, yes, I wanted to do this project. I formed a team for this project, but I'm going to take on the work of the project with getting input from the other people. The next thing is keeping at it. So there are times when, because it's all new and because it's kind of hard to navigate, can be sometimes that people get discouraged and they're like, I just can't do this. But to be totally honest with you, if you just keep at it, it's one of the things they told me when I first came in on my orientation call is that it can be overwhelming at first, but if you just kind of keep at it, just about everybody sort of figures it out. And so it's one of those things, just put some time and some commitment into it, and you have a good opportunity to succeed. And then I think the last question is, can or do people really get promoted? And I may think the answer to that is yes. Looking at me, I've been here probably around 4 months and I was recently promoted. And honestly, I really didn't do a whole lot for half of the time I was here. But when I did kind of figure it out and start going on calls and taking on projects and getting involved, I just really put myself out there and I just really took on projects and I joined teams and I just did all of the things that I'm kind of talking about in this thing. And people will appreciate that and they recognize when you do hard work, and you certainly can get promoted. Now, do you have to do that in any specific time frame? I mean, the answer is really no. Some people are more comfortable like right away getting involved. Some people like kind of move into a little bit slower. All of those things are perfectly fine. Everybody can kind of do things at their own pace. But it's one of those things where as long as you keep doing a little bit along the way, that a little bit of success that you have tends to get people more confident and get more involved. And so it's just a matter of sort of stepping up and getting involved. And so basically that's it for the slide portion of it. I wanted to see if after we kind of talked about those things that anybody had questions, comments, anybody has anything that they'd like to add to what I said, because again, I'm still fairly new and I'm still learning about DAOs, and I'm sure there's people who know more and have good input. So I appreciate you listening, and I'd like to hear what anybody has to say.
Thanks for the great presentation, gmsteel. I've been here a while now, and just to reiterate some of the points that you laid out, for me, I took a long time as well to get into the DAO and raise my hand and start talking. It was quite some time, and it does take a while for most people, I think, to find their feet in the DAO. One of the biggest advice I would give, and it's something you've touched on, is to attend calls. Listen in on to all the different calls: social media call, treasury call, ambassador calls, education calls. And that way you'll know a bit more about what the DAO is about and whether it's going to suit you. Uh, so for me, that would be one of the biggest advice. Uh, does anybody have any questions for GM Steel, or wants to give about their experience in the DAO as well? Especially if you're a new person here, it would be great if you can tell us your experience, what GM Steel has talked about. Does it resonate with you?
I
Or-
personally liked the point about how structure in DAOs is not a mutually exclusive concept. I agree that, any organization, in order for it to be organized, has to have some level of structure. It can be a little contradictory with DAOs and their nature, but I think the important thing there is finding a healthy balance between authority and structure. That is to say, you know, does everything have checks and balances? Um, our, I think another important distinction between typical corporation and a DAO is, these positions are not permanent. Just because you've been assigned a role or given a role does not make that, intangible. It's or rather permanent. I think in a lot of organizations, one thing you'll find is, someone working at an organization for, their entire life. And I don't think that longevity is as expected in a DAO.
I'll
Well,
let you
waifu.
reply, Jim Steele.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was going to say, waifu, I really like that comment because one of the interesting things I was thinking about my being in the DAO for even this short period of time that I have was the freedom of it. Like, it can be intimidating coming in and you're coming from a place where everyone's always dictated everything to you that you're going to do, and then all of a sudden you sort of have to figure it out for yourself, right? But at the same time, and there's a ton of freedom in it because when you finally realize that, you know what, I can really look at the things that I'm good at and really look at the things that I'm interested in, and I can contribute in those ways, and it satisfies you personally because you're doing things like it's not even like work because you're doing the stuff you like, and it's beneficial to the DAO and it's satisfying to you. And I'm involved in a couple of teams, and when I get done with one project, it's like I want to do something else, I can just do something else. Um, one thing I'd say to new people here too is so this course and this whole talk that I just gave, and the Moodle course that's associated with it, is just honestly kind of something that I came up with. I just was sort of interested. I said, all right, what's the difference between a DAO and a traditional organization? Because I came in with that background and I kind of wanted to try to figure it out. Not saying I figured it all out yet, but I'm working on trying, and that's why I like feedback. But just that it's kind of a different place, and but you have all of this freedom in what you like to do because this course was not assigned to be assigned by Neon Demon. It wasn't something anyone even asked me to do. It wasn't a D work project. I'm just like, huh, that's kind of interesting and it might help new people, so I just sort of made it, right? I mean, you never could do that in a traditional organization. You'd have an idea, you'd have to go to your boss. Your boss would have to approve it, and you'd have to get whatever. I mean, you just have to go through all these steps to get it done. Whereas here, you're like, huh, I'm kind of interested in that. Maybe it's beneficial, and so you just sort of go with it, right? So there's a lot of freedom involved. Um, and I was on social media and I did some stuff there, but I'm like, I like education, so I joined the education team, and I'm doing, so it just really is an opportunity that I don't think you can get in traditional organizations, and I'm really enjoying that.
Absolutely. Also, to the point of having that freedom, I think that's probably a DAO's greatest strength. I've personally expanded on skill sets that I normally would not have had it not been for me joining a DAO. Formerly I had some graphic design experience and some, basically that was it. But since working with DAOs, I've been able to expand that across to web development, all these other crazy things. And, decision making in organizations, yeah, like you said, if you have an idea that you want to bring forward, not only are there a bunch of steps, but traditional corporate culture kind of discourages that. It discourages freedom of thought, taking initiative like that outside of the role that you were assigned. And yeah, I just totally agree. I think when it comes to DAOs, as I said earlier, it's their greatest strength, and capitalizing on that, I think, is prudent.
Yeah, that's really good points. Yeah, really good points there. And just for if there's any recruits on the call that are looking for things to do, for the first time today, I attended a treasury team call. Um, and really, it's because treasury team calls aren't really at a good time for me. But I was able to listen in today, and I just wanted people to know that if there's people out there that are looking for tasks and looking for things to do, I've never been on another call in this DAO where there were more things to do, more projects that were offered up to participate in. And so if people are looking at things to do, I encourage you to check out the treasury team, to go to a treasury team call, the next one. I guarantee you can find stuff to do there. It was pretty good. I even wanted to jump in and I was like, man, I got too much going on, but maybe one day.
And I think that's a good point. You can jump between teams. When you first come in, it's probably best to stick to one or two teams. Listen to many calls, but stick to one or two teams, and then you can kind of branch out and look at treasury, look at operations, look at governance. So you learn a bit more about all the DAOs. So I try to attend as many calls as I can. And you're constantly learning from different people. Does anybody else? Gemsteel, I'll leave you to do the emceeing, and I'll just
Yeah.
jump in at any time, so you can call people.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Still, you've done a great job tonight, and I want to commend you for that. This is really awesome. And I would like say that I wouldn't want this internal learning session, and particularly this course that I've just taken tonight. I don't want it to end tonight, though there is a recording for it, but I would like it to be a repeated stuff. Did you get what I'm saying? So that people that are coming in will be able to learn and work fast. If there's something like this in place when I just joined the UMAN DAO, then even when we moved to SuperUMAN DAO, I think I would have done much more better. I'm a kind of a shy person. I'm not that free. I don't know how to like walk up to people. But yeah, in SuperUMAN DAO, we are loving and we like tolerate each other. And I do really appreciate that. So some new people that are just joining, for them to really mix, we are of different temperaments like others. So I want it to be a repeated something for the SuperUMAN DAO, the kind of learning session. Maybe we put it into writing that will like refer people to that. Okay, go and read this doc or listen to this message. It's going to help me people that are just joining the this organization. Now, please, I want you to talk on inter-relationship with each other. I want you to really talk more on that. Thank you.
I appreciate that greatness. Thank you. Just to kind of give you a heads up, this course was actually created off of a Moodle course that I created that should be done pretty soon. And so this information that's in this course will be on a Moodle course that will be kind of available to everybody. So I appreciate that you liked it, and that if you thought it was helpful, that was really good. You just mentioned about talking about interpersonal relationships, and I could say that I don't want like to pull out the tissue box or anything, but to be totally honest with you, my opinion about why this DAO is a great DAO and a great place to be is because of the fact that every single person that I've come in contact with in this DAO is a positive, encouraging person, and they are helpful, and they want to help other people get better, and they want to work together as a team. I've never seen anybody in this DAO ever not help someone or not be encouraging to someone. And it's almost like there's no place in life that's like that, right? Like we all live this day to day life and we go and we interact with people and we work and we do all of these things. And I just don't think there's another place like this anywhere where everyone is like that. I I throw out Me Day, right? Because Me Day is a person who, like, honestly, I've never been on a call or never had an interaction with her where she wasn't positive and uplifting to others and laughing and just the kind of person who I think really represents what this DAO is about. And so I think interpersonal relationships are as important as any other skill in this DAO. Teamwork, getting to know people, has a lot to do with kind of moving forward. Does anybody else have any other comments or questions or want to say anything else about that?
Hey guys, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Timmy.
Finally, I had to exit myself from the call to join again because of my airport. So I just wanted to give a little comment. Thanks a lot, James. Still, that was a really nice presentation, and you did a great job. So I just wanted to add to it that yesterday I still had a call with a recruit. So I kind of discovered that we have some recruits that are actually interested in participating in different teams, but since they don't have the knowledge of how to navigate Discord, it's kind of like discourages them to participate and to be their best in different teams. So I was like, wow, I guess that is why we have the onboarding thing, and I had to start like explaining how navigating the Discord is, and how you should also like attend the orientation calls and the onboarding calls. So like I just want to like encourage the recruits or encourage anyone interested in being a part of the DAO, because I noticed that we use Discord more, and people don't really have the knowledge of Discord, and that's kind of like affecting the way they engage or the way they like participate in teams. So try and be joining the orientation calls. Try and ask anyone, any master or for guidance. And just like James still said about the mentorship program, yeah, always ask anyone. Feel free to chat anyone up. We have different set of people. I'm very very shy. I do tell everyone I am very very shy. So I totally understand if you're shy. You can DM me. You can DM any of the superhumans and ask them questions, attend the orientation calls, and trust me, with time, you'll be doing even more than what you least expected. So that's just what I wanted to like add.
Yeah, that was really good points, Timmy, because, and I appreciate what you said about the Discord. I'm involved in a project with the onboarding team and involved in the part of that is coming up with a strategy for onboarding. And so your comment is really good because it will help me to say maybe a part of that strategy needs to be how do we get people comfortable or to know about how to utilize Discord so that they aren't kind of excluded from things like you said. So that was a really good point. And again, I really like to hear about people's experience in the DAO and other things that people might have to say about kind of what the presentation was. I don't really believe that at this point I really have a great understanding of the whole thing. So there may be people who have a better understanding of some of the points I made or experiences that anyone has had that were good in the DAO or opportunities. I guess honestly about maybe even some things where you came into the DAO and you know something now that you wish you would have known when you first came in. because those are good comments for onboarding and for things about, how could it be better for recruits coming on in the future, and how could we teach people and mentor people better. Does anybody else have any comments?
Yes, good evening, sir. Can you hear me? Good evening, sir.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, there are some of us that are not very familiar with Discourse before we joined the group. That what we understand about our experience about the Discourse is very little before we even joined the SuperUMAN DAO. When we came in, somebody like me came in. When I came into the group, I tried to just navigate to follow the rules and regulations, but I don't know what to do. Then I tried to just uh find some people that have been in the Superhuman DAO before myself to just put me through. But what I got to know is that there are some people that I try to contact with, and they try to tell me that they are not in best position to help. I really don't know the actual person that I was supposed to meet to mentor me. But when I try to just quiet within a little time, try to be attending all the meetings, I get to be familiar with all the peoples. I get to be knowing the difference between every other person. Because when I came in, I saw some people recruit and they are in many organizations. I thought once you are in many organizations, maybe you are just a leader like that, until I get to know that there are difference between superhuman, core superhuman, Uma Star, and every other people. And I've not been talking in the group, but I just try to be attending so that I can have the basic understanding. So many people need mentors like what you have did today. It is very very good to us, because when somebody come in as a pre-recruit, he will not know where to go if the person is not being invited by somebody. Like myself, I joined the group through Twitter. I saw it on Twitter and I joined. I don't have understanding about the Superwoman DAO. I just find myself there now. I'm very happy to know what is going in the platform. And since I joined, I have been very, very happy. Now I just try to like let me join like one or two teams. Even I'm attending the meeting, since I don't know who to ask. We have to ask people, because I remember I asked somebody. I think his name is Amades 360. I do see him performing very well in the group, doing something. He tried to let me understand that he's a new recruit like me. So that he's not in best position. There are some rules that we have to follow. But when the issue of mentorship come in this night, I try to I am very very happy. Somebody like me is very very happy. Although I've grown to the extent of picking up a particular task now, because in the treasury team under determining. So there is a particular tax there that everything Bitcoin was, if we can actually do, and I think I can do something. I've been writing, putting pen on paper concerning it, and I've been at least contributing to the DAO for the first time. But the issue of mentorship, we need somebody, a new recruit needs somebody that will guide him or her, so that we actually know what is going on in the group, even how to use Discord very, very well. Most of us don't know it. I don't know, don't let me say most of us. Some people like me, I'm not familiar with Discord before. I just know Discord is a platform. I've been trying to familiar with it, but I can see that many people in this very group, they are very very conversant with Discord, and they can put somebody through to the extent that when somebody come to a place for the very first time, there is no how you will know how to make use of the place very very well until somebody that is that have the knowledge about the place put you through. That is when somebody can be able to do very, very well, sir.
Yeah, and those are really good comments, and the comments that we've gotten so far, lead me to believe that the onboarding strategy needs to include something about Discord. And if it makes you feel any better, when I joined the DAO, I had never used Discord. As a matter of fact, when I joined the DAO, I didn't even have a Twitter account. And the first team I joined was a social media team, and I'd never used Twitter before. So there are a lot of people that come in, and some of these platforms are new and different. But I wanted to comment on what you said about mentorship. The first comment I ever made in this DAO was about mentorship, and I think there's probably some people in the DAO that would would like it if I never utter the word again, because all I do is talk about it all the time. But it's because my own experience coming in, and I talk to a lot of the recruits, and over and over and over again, it's just that if I just it's like I could learn everything in 4 months, or if I just had someone to give me a little bit of help and a little bit of boost, I could contribute to the DAO in a couple weeks or a month. And that's how it was for me. I was here for a couple months and did nothing, and then I joined the social media mentorship program, and Shellpen was my mentor, and he was incredibly helpful. And after a couple weeks of Shellpen, I started taking on projects, and I started kind of getting where I am right now. And it was just because I needed a little bit of help. I started taking on projects with him, and I started doing the work, but he would give me the feedback. And I mean, it just kind of taught me how to operate in here. And so I take what everybody is saying. I have a passion for mentorship. You mentioned Ambidex 360, and he's not here. He told me he wasn't going to be able to be on the call, but I'd like to give him a shout out. I'm super excited for him because I've been on calls where people are shouting him out because he's done such a great job. But he and I started working together, and he did projects with me, and then he was leading projects, and then before I knew it, he was on teams I wasn't even on and doing projects I wasn't even involved in, and really took off on his own. And he's a great person, a great resource, because he's done it. But just to kind of give you a heads up, that my first idea is that we should have mentorship teams in all of the different teams, and I like that. And I think it's important, and I think maybe one day we'll get there. But as time has gone on, I've sort of started thinking that maybe we don't necessarily at the beginning need to have mentorship for specific teams. We just need to have general mentors. That's sort of what you were just talking about, is just someone who gets together with a recruit and kind of answers their questions and helps them get involved in, like, if I have a project, I can bring a recruit into the project with me, and they can take some of the work, and they can ask me questions, and I can talk to them. And I found that that's a really great way to get people launched. It's a starting point, and then people tend to take off from there once they sort of figure it out. Amadex and I actually right now are sort of throwing around the idea of trying a small mentorship team just as a trial, and just to kind of see how it works. But I want all the new recruits, in the comments we've had so far, we've had a couple comments about needing assistance with Discord and a couple comments about mentorship. And I just want you to know that the Discord thing we will definitely have in the onboarding strategy, and that mentorship is really something that I appreciate you talking about, that I'm passionate for, and that I really am. I don't even really have some official position to be attempting to do something with mentorship, but it's just something I'm passionate about and something I like, and that I'm really trying to work on. And so I'd like to hear everyone's feedback about that, and please always ask me if I can be of help. Anybody else out there have any comments? This has been good conversation. We have about 10 more minutes, and I'd still like to hear some things from folks if anyone's out there. Are there any SuperUMAns in the call that have been here longer than me and have been around a while, that have any good comments about what they think that essential skills are for succeeding in a DAO, or things that new recruits are important tasks to do kind of at the beginning that help them get launched?
That depends. How long have you been around?
That's a pretty good question. Maybe about 4 months, but really only about 2 where I've been doing anything,
I don't know. I guess I started talking, so I'll just reiterate that the whole stepping up point. The way that I see it, and it's benefited me in the past, is, look at the DAO like a normal structure, like a normal organization, and think to yourself, okay, does this need anything? Is there anything that I'm noticing that's missing, that's maybe not thought through the best? I mean, we all make mistakes and no system is perfect. Is there anything, and this is just another way of saying, is there a way that I can contribute? And I know that seems at face value redundant and perhaps kind of obvious, but I implore everyone to really think about what that means and yeah, just try to maybe just visualize what a perfect DAO might look like and think, oh, well, what are the steps that we need to take to get there?
Well, and that's a really good point because, you say that, but at the same time, you made another good comment earlier, which is that in a traditional organization, maybe original thought is discouraged, right? So people come in and maybe they aren't like, oh, I should just look for things that are needed, and that's not built into people because you see that in a DAO as valuable, but maybe not in another one, right? But your comment is great from the standpoint of this talk right now and the Moodle course accompanied with it. It comes from exactly what you just said, kind of coming in and me kind of saying, and it really was saying to myself, hey, what skills do I need to do to be successful in a DAO? And then from that saying, okay, well, would this kind of information be helpful to other people? So created a Moodle course and we're having the talk today. And so, yes, look around and see. It doesn't have to be, I guess I said a lot about going on a call and finding out what tasks need to be done and taking on tasks. But at the same time, the freedom in a DAO that's great is you can create your own task. You can see something that needs to be done and start doing it. Get people involved and kind of move forward. And that's another great way to be a contributor.
Yes, and what a great talk this has been. You did a great job.
I really appreciate that, and I appreciate everybody's feedback, and I love feedback. I mean, good or bad, let me know. This is my first presentation here, but I've enjoyed it. I think that everybody participating, I so much appreciate it. I appreciate all the good comments. Looks like we have a couple of minutes left. Anybody else have anything to add out there?
Hey, gmsteel, you're doing a great job, yeah. I just want to say, especially to the new recruits out there, activity will get noticed. If you are active and you're completing tasks and you're, like you say, if you've created your own task and you've completed it, this kind of activity does get noticed. And the more you're active, the better. And we don't have the compensation in place yet, but that's coming very soon. So that will be done retroactively and also going into the future as well. So you are doing work. I don't personally now, I've been here for several months, and I do not look about the compensation side of things so much. I have two goals. I want to build and I want to learn. So I want to learn new things. So you can learn new skills here. Someone was talking about Discord being new. It was new to me as well, actually. But I wanted to learn it and things that you're interested in. So you should always do things that you want to do and be interested in and not having to be forced to do it. And you can try out different teams as well. It'd be nice to know if other people that's been here a while feels the same way or slightly different. I don't want to put them on the spot, but Pomile, maybe Deadcoin. That's if you're able to speak, of course.
Hey, Deadcoin. I mean, sorry. Hey, Neon. Sorry. So yeah, I can actually relate with some of the things that GM still was saying. Actually, when I joined, I joined the server. I was there for about maybe like 3 weeks to a month, and then I would always like spam channels with like good morning, because I literally felt very dumb because I felt like, oh my god, like these people know so much about like crypto and DeFi, and I'm just like literally new and all. So I actually I got in contact with like a few people I felt could like help me. like personally in the DM and all, not like I was actually like very, very shy about like typing, and I was just like, okay, like maybe I would say something dumb or stupid or something. So, but just to point out that, like, no matter the questions you ask or whatever you say, like this SuperUMAn DAO, like they'll actually make you feel very welcome. Like there was actually a channel for like there was a channel named No Stupid Questions, and I used to think that channel was for like, okay, maybe don't ask stupid questions. I didn't know that it actually meant like no question is stupid. Yeah. So like that's how like they will make you feel. And also like I reached out to a couple of like people I knew that okay they could help me and all. Particularly Henry, because like I actually like saw all the things he used to do in the DAO with like bots and tools, and I felt like oh wow, I could actually like do this. I actually love this and all. So I started like learning about it like on my own. I had never heard of like Notion before I joined the SuperUMAN DAO and everything. So like I went online and like checked out a couple of like resources on Notion and Discord too and other tools. So and like it really helped me a lot. And due to my flexibility, I know that okay, like there are a lot of things that I could actually do. Like I have a lot of time on my hands. Like I felt that time there was actually nothing like operations team. So I was just basically doing a lot of stuff in the background with like bots and tools and everything, like admin stuff and all. And it was nice. So I'll just like say like as a new recruit, I know like it's like literally so like most of the recruit that come in, like it's like a new space for you guys. Like literally when I came into it was new for me, but I just feel like you can just like attend calls and then just watch out for like something you feel you might actually be able to do, or a team you feel like okay I actually not cause okay maybe I just want to do a task. You should actually do it because I actually like this and I want to do it. So that's just my input here. And nice work, James. Still, I'm really enjoying this session.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that, and those are great comments and good things for new recruits to know. I haven't gotten to work with you very much. I hope I can sometime soon. I haven't talked to you a whole bunch. I think we must be on different teams, I guess. But yeah, so I really appreciate it very much that if this was valuable to people and they enjoyed it. I really want to say thank you to everybody who participated and everybody who came and everybody who gave such good comments. I'm going to take some things away from this to take over to the onboarding team for sure. I guess we're getting up close to the end of the hour. But before we do, I mean, anyone have anything else they'd like to throw in real quick?
Hey guys.
I
Oh, can you guys hear me? Sorry
Can.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I wanted to add, don't be discouraged. You know, when I just started participating, I designed some stuff and sometimes I felt like no one appreciated it. So I just want to like use that to kind of encourage everyone not to get discouraged. If you like doing stuff, keep doing it no matter what and just keep contributing. Definitely you'll get noticed. So sometimes when you kind of like put a put a lot of work in something and you feel like it wasn't recognized or you feel like people didn't care, don't get discouraged. Don't leave the DAO because someday you'll get recognized and everyone will kind of notice your work. So that was just what I wanted to like say.
I think that's a good point, Timmy. I mean, the thing is that sometimes you come in and you have an idea. And I mean, I came in, I had ideas, and they weren't necessarily the best ideas for the team or for the DAO. But people were acceptive of those ideas, and it was like I didn't give up on those ideas. It was just I listened to some people, and they helped me to structure those ideas sort of in a better way, in a way that could be productive. So the ideas are great, and what you'll find here I personally can tell you I didn't experience anyone who was discouraging about any idea, but they certainly were willing to kind of help me kind of refine them a little bit, I guess. But if you have ideas, I wholly encourage you to go forward with them. It looked like a couple other people might have wanted to say something if anyone wants to throw something in.
And hi guys, I want to add that there is a video navigating Superman Discord. I think Timmy Graphics or Chris made the video at the woman down then. I don't know the actual person, maybe Timmy Graphics or Chris. I don't know how we can like get the video for the new Chris.
Timmy Graphics, do you have any comment about that?
Sorry, could you repeat that? Which navigating video?
Yes, yes. I don't know if you were the one you are the one that made the video then. The this Superman Discord how to navigate the Superman Discord video then at the woman
Oh,
server.
so I made a video with Chris on navigating Discord, but that was when we're still using the UMA server. So now that we kind of like moved or integrated to the new server, we haven't made a video, but I recently made like an onboarding video, and it's on YouTube. It's on the SuperUMAN DAO YouTube. So you can also like check that. Like that one is more of like an animation video and like an explainer of how to like participate in different teams and get so.
One thing that I've noticed, and I guess some newer recruits can kind of say this or comment on it better than I can, but one opportunity that might be in this strategy that we have for onboarding is really just needing this central place where recruits can go and have all the links that they need and have all of the just the ability to kind of find stuff. Sometimes I feel like we use different programs for different things and things are in a bunch of different places, and so part of that will be, can we have some centralization or a place where recruits can go and kind of find all of the things that they need? I'm getting comments from people about that being maybe something that could be helpful.
I made it to my computer.
Yeah, sorry. I saw you dead coin wanting to talk. Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, I just wanted to come in and say my part too. I was like Pamela. I seen the, the stupid questions, no stupid questions, and I thought the same thing back in the day when I came in here, and I was really nervous, and I still get nervous when and calls. I forget what I was about to say and get all jumbly and stuttery, and it's difficult. I know being new in a place, that's strange to you. But everyone here pretty much is like family, so you can feel free to, that's what I liked about it. Because it wasn't like that when I first joined. There wasn't very many people in the server. It was in the UMA server about a year or a month ago, and it wasn't the same as it is now. Now it'd be great, you have people that can help you and guide you along the way. I knew nothing. Like when I came in, I was too embarrassed to ask, and I wish I would have asked instead of just wasted all my money on gas. I didn't know anything about crypto, the gas and all that. And I just knew about Coinbase, so that's how I ended up finding UMA. And I've been here ever since. But ever since we started the SuperUMAns, I mean, it's a really great group of people that really cares. So yeah, feel free to reach out if you're new and you need a place to start or something to do or ask questions on things, because I know it's difficult. I still have a hard time with Discord. And I know I try to have my daughter even on board, and I could even answer some of her questions. She's all frustrated. And there's somebody else too that was frustrated because they weren't sure of Discord. So I think that is a big major, bottleneck there in getting used to it. But once you get in there, I mean, I pretty much, you can pretty much know your way around. I know it's a bit confusing and a bit intimidating at first, but if you just keep to it, and you'll find your way. And feel free to reach out and ask people, because now it's so nice. I wish I had this. You could just ask anybody, and anybody, I'm sure, will stop what they're doing to give you a hand and to make sure that you're, at least guide you on the way. Maybe not do it for you, because you have to kind of do that yourself and learn kind of that way. But to definitely guide you and give you the right information. Nobody's going to steer you wrong, and we all want to see everybody succeed. And yeah, and so I'm lucky to be here, and I'm lucky to have all you awesome people in the DAO, because it's truly amazing. I've seen other DAOs, and Just being in there, like as an ambassador or just going around, and yeah, they're not all like this, you know. So we have something special here, and it's a good thing, and that's really great. So yeah, if anybody ever needs anything, feel free to DM me. I'm always willing to help out when I can. I mean, I'll do whatever it takes to steer you in the right direction, give you the right information, or help you out as much as I can. And I believe any other superwoman or master here will do the same for you. So, well, thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome, Deadcoin, and I appreciate you giving some good comments there. I thought when I first joined, the no stupid questions had been like created just because I joined the DAO, right? Like I was like, oh, I got enough stupid questions that they must have made a channel just for me.
I went back in Discord and looked at some of the questions I was asking. I'm like, oh man, what was I thinking? So embarrassed, cringe. But
No,
you did a
listen,
great job
it's
there
great.
too. I really enjoyed this today too. I was listening on my cell phone downstairs, and I wanted to come up and speak, but I was listening, and you did a really good job. I appreciate it. It's awesome.
I appreciate it too. You know, I'm excited about the conversation that we had. I mean, I think it went really well, and I mean, it went good because everybody, you know, threw in good comments and we had a good discussion. So I really appreciate that very much, and I was very pleased to do it. I enjoyed it, and I was hoping that we could present some stuff that would be helpful to folks. Have some good comments. Anybody else have anything that they want to throw in? We're running a little bit over, so of course, if anybody's got to go, that's cool. But if anyone else has anything, I'd love to hear it.
I just wanted to say thanks, gmsteel, for doing the presentation. I agree with all the other comments, and I feel the same way about Discord and about not knowing anything. But I just want to tell you I appreciate it, and it's been very helpful.
Yeah, I appreciate that, W Stone. Thanks very much. Anyone else have anything else that they want to throw in? I don't want to cut anybody off. I know we're a little bit over. Okay. So thanks. I will wrap this up. I just want to say thank you to everybody who is coming. I hope it was helpful. If anyone has any other questions or comments, please feel free to DM me. Let me know. For anybody new that I can help, please let me know. Someone mentioned Amadex 360. He's someone also who's really been doing a great job, who's very helpful to other people if you need it. But like Deadcoin just said, I don't think there's anyone you could reach out to on here that won't help you if you need it. Just ask questions, and you'll get what you need. And again, just to reiterate, my thought is that what Deadcoin said, all DAOs aren't like this, but you know, we have great teams and we're strong and we back a good product, but those aren't why this DAO is special. I just think it's because everybody is so kind and friendly, encouraging and helpful, and we just have a great group of people, and I appreciate you guys letting me be a part of it. So thanks. You guys have a good day. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank
James, too.
Bye.
Yes.